Now, we have a public affairs commentator in the house, Chuks Nwoko, joining us right here in the studio. Chuks, good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Glad to be here.
Good morning.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
Now, a lot of people, we have listened to so many, I know you've heard so many things about comments from Nigerians on this. Is this really an indictment on the government, or is it an indictment on Aso Rock Clinic leadership? Let us start from there. Who do we hold responsible in this issue now directly?
Trying to hold somebody responsible here, and probably looking at the direction of the president or presidency, is the same thing that I've said right here on this desk. There's something I call vulnerability of leadership. No. You have a CEO here. You got to be here at the stipulated time to do your job. It's not his job. But the second thing I need to say is that it has just shown that there's something wrong with us as a people. I've talked about how we need to behave very well. That man who is in charge there should be held accountable, because if the president put him there or the civil service system put him there, he's supposed to be accountable to us. He's supposed to be a leader. He's just shown how that leadership vulnerability means that anytime you put someone in a place of responsibility, that person does not care. All he cares is about himself. He does not care what happened to the president or the man who puts him in that place. And I think it's terrible. In other climes, leadership is not about running around and overseeing the clinic or overseeing the roads. It's about putting people in position of responsibility. I think that what the president needs to do to show that he's a leader is to punish the people who are in the position. Now, if it's the civil service that he doesn't have a direct power to punish those people, that system, which belongs to all of us, should be able to deal with such situations. And as usual, I want to suspect that the people in that place, they are probably professional medical practitioners. So they have their own outlets, because that's usually the case. We need to take action as a people. If the president cannot sanction the people who are responsible for that clinic, we, the people, the NGOs, and all the people who are shouting on social media, should be able to take responsibility and punish these people and do something to these people.
Don't you think it goes beyond the president just sanctioning whoever is responsible for this? There seems to be a culture that's already in place. I mean, you talk about accountability of the civil service. Accountability and the civil service, as far as Nigeria is concerned, are two words that don't appear, you know, in the same place. And now Arabi is actually saying that, look, why we have this situation is because, number one, the budgets that we hear, 3.9 billion in 2015, 2016, 3.27 billion and all of that, are not even worth the paper they are written on. That, as a matter of fact, all they get at the end of the day, where they receive any, is just 30%.
This provides us as an opportunity. Either Mr. President is listening and is ready to take action, or you and I, so that we just stop this narrative. Every time something happens, you call me here or you call somebody else, and we just keep. We need to take action. We need to do something. There is something fundamentally wrong with us. So that if myself, that is sitting down here, if you take me and put me in that position and make me the head of that clinic, there are people in that place that will probably tutor me on how to run the place down or how things are done in that place. So there's a systematic problem that must be dealt with. And I'm recommending that people are arrested and taken to a thinking school where their brain is tweeted to such a point where they can begin to think patriotically and begin to think.
Do we even have those schools, and who will be tutoring? Can you give what you don't have? No,
such schools exist. I run one of such schools.
Oh, okay. It's good to know.
In fact, you put them on that.
Don't give us the name of the school now.
No, I won't do that. You force them, you compel them to be taken out of their comfort zone, taken into a classroom where they are locked up, sustained, maintained, and looked after, until such a point where their thinking becomes right, where they are taught patriotism, where they are meant to see the big picture, where they're meant to see that life is not about acquisition. You don't have theft. Is when you take something that does not belong to you. They need to understand it, where you can use little to achieve much. That's what he taught in the school.
All right. Now,
but here in this country, we have so much, and everybody's just taking his own share.
We understand from the reports that the permanent secretary also gave, he was saying that members of the National Assembly, military personnel, they all come there to get free medical services at the Aso Rock Clinic. How appropriate is that?
Yeah, that's the same way Nigeria. That's the same way Nigeria Airways was run. You have a CEO, you have MD, you have PR, you have everybody. Everybody's coming to have a free ride. Now we no longer have a national airline, which is a national shame and a national disaster. So that is what you have. And these are people I guess and I suspect are paid medical allowances. But they will not use the money to go seek medical services where they are supposed to go to and spend the money. So they go to the same places. So the syringes and the budget and whatever, we need to track them. We need to find out where they are. And the reason this is going on is just what I said. Nigeria has so much. We're so endowed. We're so blessed. So everybody is just struggling to take theirs, including the man in the street.
According to Arabi again, the PAMSEC of the Aso Rock Medical Center or Clinic, it says about 10,000 registered patients are actually under this, the services of the clinic, including, of course, the president, the vice president, and their families, and the gates are opened for, members of the public to actually walk into those clinics. And that explains the dearth of equipment at the clinic. Now, 10,000 people every... How realistic really is that? How realistic is that, considering that we hear that 16 teaching hospitals' budget is nowhere near what this Aso Rock clinic gets in 1 year?
So for me, it's very simple what we need to do. I would think that the president will have people who listen to television stations in the morning, so that they aggregate, then do newspaper reviews and submit. That's how it should be. I think that what they should do is do a proper auditing of what is going on there. The budget that you tabulate and all that, alongside what's been expended and all that. Then come up with who should attend and who should not attend. And like I said, what are they suffering from? Is they eat too much? Because some of us don't have anything to eat here. Yeah. What are they suffering from? Obviously, it's not malaria and the regular stuff that we have here. We need to begin to account, and it must start from presidency. It must start from that clinic. It must start down. In fact, the National Assembly should begin to account so that it will trickle down to all these other places. Because I don't understand what is going on. When we are done with this now, another issue will crop up. Now, I want to especially thank the wife of Mr. President for making that statement, because I can imagine the amount of thought and effort that she put into couching her statement.
How troubling is it for you? I don't know how to, how much of the details of what she said you heard, that she was actually told when she took ill that she should, take the next available flight out, but she insisted that she would get that medical help. And you can see why Mr. President has to go abroad when every time he was ill. You have to. Maybe this is why other people have to travel abroad. But we can't continue to deal with our national symptoms or infirmities the way we're dealing with them. We need to deal with the issues. The issues we have are fundamental. We're just dealing with the surface. We don't behave well. We are corrupt. So when other people say that we are corrupt, we get offended. We are corrupt. Corruption is not just when you take money. The way we think, our thinking process is not. How can you be superseding or overseeing an institution and it is run down and you are making these explanations? What have you done? Who have you reported to? What have you done? Who have you reported to? So if Mrs. President, the wife of the president, didn't come to a conference center where she made those comments, we will not know what is going on. And I think that we need to change the way we behave and the way we conduct ourselves, especially when we're given a position. I give you a very good example. Your CEO here probably went back home late. We arrived here maybe around 9 and 10. He knows and trusts you will be here. If you're not here, you'll be sanctioned or be removed. That is how institutions and governments are run. Mr. President must stand up and sanction people for wrongdoing. Until we begin to do so, in the next 1 week or before Friday, there will be another narrative, and I'll probably be here. And we need to stop. We have become a laughing stock of the world. And I think that is just terrible.
All right. We'll certainly look forward to a change in all of these, because
common sense,
yeah,
or restructuring
of the mind.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, the State House Medical Center is meant to cater for the health of the president, vice president, staff of the presidency, and their families, political appointees, the military, paramilitary, other security agencies, and members of the National Assembly, among others.
Yes, indeed.
That is the ideal situation. But there are other arguments, as in the National Assembly, they have a clinic and they have allowances, like Chooks was saying. But let me get to my wall and let's have a breakdown of these things so we can understand better. I know Nigerians have been asking questions, asking really serious questions. Now, let's get to the last 2 years now. Aso Rock Clinic in 2015 got an allocation of 3.9 billion naira. That's about 4 billion. If you can round it up, that's about 4 billion naira. And then in 2016, Aso Rock Clinic got 3.87 billion naira allocation. And then in 2017, it got a 3.2 billion naira allocation. Now,
but Mike, before you go on, 2017, according to the PAMSEC, he says zero
allocation for capital projects.
Yeah.
All right. Now, but certainly there was an allocation.
Yes.
But for capital project, it was zero.
Zero.
All right. Now let's compare that to the 16 teaching hospitals in Nigeria that are owned by the government. Now, in 2015, they got 1.4 billion naira for 2015. You compare that to 2015 allocation for Aso Rock Clinic alone that had 3.94 billion naira, then you can do the mathematics in your head. We get to, in 2016, all these 16 teaching hospitals got 3.3 billion naira. If you compare that to Aso Rock Clinic alone for 2016, 3.87 billion, you can do the calculation. Yeah. Then in 2017, all the 16 teaching hospitals got 1.9 billion naira. You compare that to Aso Rock Clinic alone for 2017 that got 3.2 billion naira. And Nigerians are asking, even if there is so much paucity in funds, this can still go a long way. You go to the teaching hospitals, they have their issues anyway, but at least you will still find some level of consumables. If
yes, indeed. Imagine how much difference this figures would make in this 16 teaching
exactly in this 16 teaching hospitals. All right, let's move ahead now. All right, now what the permanent secretary said and what the House of Representatives said, because when it comes to the budget for these things, the details are there. Now, the permanent secretary of the state clinic said that they got 3.4 billion naira. That's the allocation, total appropriation to Aso Rock Clinic between 2015 and 2017. That's how much they got. But the House of Reps said, from the budget we have, from the budget that was brought for us and we allocated, is 11.01 billion naira. So, if you make comparison, you deduct 3.40 billion naira of what the permanent secretary said they got and what the House of Reps said they approved,
you have
then
a difference
someone has a question to answer there. Someone really has a question to answer. But let's move ahead. Okay. Now, on the other hand, now between recurrent expenditure and capital expenditure, now Aso Rock Clinic between 2015 and 2016, they got about 2.9 billion naira and allocation, but 969 million naira was released, and that's according to the permanent secretary, because all of this, he has the record. So, so that's what was released. 900 million was released, but however, the allocation was supposed to be 2.9 billion. Now, recurrent appropriation for Aso Rock Clinic, 469 billion naira was appropriated, but 225 million naira was released. So, if there's an appropriation and then the differences between what is appropriated and what is released, these are the different mathematics we have to work on. And then they said they had zero allocation for capital projects for 2017, and we talked about that earlier on. Now let's, okay, fine. That's in all of this, Chuks, we have seen. Let me ask this question.
Yes, sir.
How embarrassing is it that now we hear the National Assembly has set up a committee to probe into that, to look into that. Fine. We know the Aso Rock is certainly going to look into that as well. But how embarrassing it is that it takes the wife of the president or the daughter of the president to beam such light on what originally the oversight function from the National Assembly are supposed to carry out, and then the Aso Rock Clinic themselves.
First, I'm thankful to those women. Yeah. Women that we have in our lives should carry those type of traits. They are strong, they are prayerful, they catch their words, they are behind their men, they are not seen and all that, they're skilled and all that. That's what I see.
And they pull no punches at all.
Absolutely. And I am particularly grateful to this woman for this particular thing that she came up with. But it's a shame of a nation, not just on a segment of the population, but even on people like me. I just come here to talk. I should do something about this. I don't need to put my fire on myself before they won't even hear. It won't even affect them, and it wouldn't lead to any protest.
Like it was in Tunisia.
Yes, but it's a shame. And the reason this is going on, I've already explained to you. Nigeria has so much. In the school that I own and I run, I teach how that you use less to achieve more. Nigeria is too rich. And all these people that are making noise, this is a project for you to take on and get these people to come on our account. Look at the kind of money that they're mentioning.
Well, somebody described...
That can be used to fix... This is how Nigeria Airways died. This is how our shipping airline died.
Somebody rightly described Nigeria as a country that is too poor to be rich and too rich to be poor.
We are too endowed. Look, people are talking... I hear people talking about restructuring and marginalization. This is marginalization at the highest level. This Top Gun marginalization. Marginalization itself is not even a bad thing. It gives you an opportunity to challenge the authority. This is fraud, this is theft, this is stealing that's been going on for years.
Okay, now sorry,
to deal with
we'll come to how to deal with it. The claims by Arabi that the budget was, what you have put out there as the allocation is not exactly what they are given, what they are what's released at the end of the day. Now, 960-something million, for example. 69. How do you justify that a clinic, top-level clinic, would not have the basics, syringes and all of that? Is it justified?
It's not justified, but it's a mirror. When you're looking at the mirror, you're seeing your image. It's a mirror. This is a mirror depicting what we all know: corruption. These guys, they must have their own hospitals and clinics, because now if you budgeted certain amount of money and what you're giving is different, it's the same thing that we already know. I mean, what language are we going to coin outside of what we already know? It's discrepancies, it's corruption, it's theft. Somebody needs to be held accountable. We need to hold this government accountable. We need to, whatever we need to do to Mr. President to rise up to his responsibility, since he's fighting corruption, to fight it. I have been a supporter of this government in the fight against corruption. Now, a fight doesn't have to be a perfect fight. It doesn't have to be a perfect fight, but he needs to fight this one, because so much money has been spent by him going abroad to go and seek medical help. Yeah. Right? This one that ordinary people from the National Assembly and members of staff of the president are used should be Top Gun clinic. Our monies have been budgeted. We need to know what happened to those money. People need to be punished. People need to be sanctioned. And we need to give an award to this woman, because this has been going on for so many years.
You know what, Chooks, exactly. Let's put you on hold. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we will... we can't get to the bottom of this. Right, welcome back. You're watching TVC Breakfast. The big issue right now is the parlous or the dilapidated state of the Aso Rock Clinic, as put out there by the wife of Mr. President, Aisha Buhari. Our guest right here in the studio is Chooks Nwoko. He's a public affairs commentator. Of course, thank you for staying with us. Now, Arabi, going back to him, the PAMSEC of the Aso Rock Clinic says that the way out of this rot is actually to commercialize the Aso Rock Clinic. Does it make sense?
I don't think we need Aso Rock Clinic. Mr. President is already going abroad, and his wife is already consulting a private clinic. We have many Indians and whatever. Now, if you...
But she said she was forced to go there.
To go there.
But you see, that is what marginalization does for you. When you are marginalized at workplace, denied promotion and all that, when you are marginalized regionally, environmentally, or not, something always leads to something. I've been marginalized all my life. But those marginalization and isolation and intimidation has always led me to the next level in life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Marginalization is not a good thing if your mind is working appropriately. People have been marginalized at work and they moved on to the next place only to get there. So she was marginalized to a right place that's functional, and the mind earn money. We need to shut down the place. This rot is a marginalization that has been brought before us. We should use it positive by closing down the place. Closing down the place. If you need to have a clinic, let there be a clinic for the president, the vice president, and their family, and all that and all that. I think that's appropriate. But opening it for 30,000 people, we should be promoting good living, good, healthy living. You know, that's what we should be promoting. People should be healthy by what we eat, how we walk, how we sit. You know, I think that that's what we should be promoting, and it's being promoted right now by a lot of people. This idea of money, budgeting, and money missing and all that is simply because Nigeria has so much money, and everybody is involved in this mendacity. You know why? When you go to Balogu to go and buy something and you're carrying something on your head and somebody's forcing you to give him 100 now you don't know what he's saying to you. He's saying to you, you have so much money to come and do shopping in Balogu. I must get from it. You go to the motor chart and everybody, go to the bus, everybody asking the conductor to, and you pay.
Everybody wants a piece of it.
Everybody is eating directly or indirectly from the national cake. So we need to change that whatever. So that restructuring, as far as I'm concerned, has to start in our minds. Start with closing those who are shouting restructuring. Let me even tell you, you know that when organizations restructure, they actually restructure for profit purposes.
For
this is one area we are going to make profit from. When we close down this place that has become a channel of
cash cow.
Yes.
All right. We remember when Buhari was coming in 2015. The fear of Buhari was the beginning of wisdom. People were ready. In fact, people themselves say they don't need to be told that I don't want Probolo, Buhari is in town and all of that. But now, even right under his nose, a lot of things happening. Has that Buhari, has it been demystified?
To a certain extent, and I will tell you, when he came to power, I was in one of your programs, and I said the fear that I have, you know, concerning Buhari, his anti-corruption one, going forward and all that, is that he's the only one fighting in his government. That for me is a disaster. Even as I speak, I can't find one person that I can say that is a minister, that's an aide, that carries that banner. So it's, for me, my son hasn't changed. But it's just to show you also how powerful the agitation by people from in the South. First, they started, when Buhari ascended power, what started happening was that people were sending text messages. Oh, they want to Islamize Nigeria. Oh, they are appointed. So all of that has, you know, as far as I'm also concerned, watered down that fear and all that. It's like we're fighting him so that we can do what we want to do.
So is this war over then? Is that what we're saying? Well, the presidency is
winning down.
You pointed out an issue earlier about the doctors, this public sector doctors actually having their own private practices of private practice. Oh, yeah. Now the presidency is trying to see a way that can actually be discouraged, at least by coming out with a law. Would you encourage that?
Laws are never obeyed in this country. They will always find a way. We are the same people. I mean, if you go to the Middle East, those people there, they are described as having one threat. If you go to America, people there, you know, you come to Nigeria, we are the same people. What I think that should happen is that they should go to medical schools, find fresh graduates, go abroad, bring people, Nigerians. When you go all over the United States of America, you'll find Nigerians doing great things. Bring them to come and, how many people do you need, by the way, to come and man that place? Successful medical practitioners to come and remove these guys. If your law of civil service will not allow you to remove them, take them to another place. But saying that you want to, laws, we have too many laws in Nigeria. How many has been obeyed? How many has been obeyed? The politicians are the ones fighting against this war against corruption and all that and all that. And like you rightly said, what is, you know, makes me angry is the fact that right under this man's nose, these things are happening.
Things are happening.
And I think that is the audacity I can't relate to.
So the body language is no longer speaking.
What I think that you should do is listen to programs like I do, newspaper reviews, aggregate what is correct and what. Do something.
It is even said that it is not difficult to do the right thing.
It's not.
Everybody knows what to do, really. It's just mischief sometimes. But thank you very much, Chuks Nwoko, for coming on the program this morning. Thank you so much.